Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Oh yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go, man. Look, it's a beautiful day, y'all. I know it's been a while. We were supposed to talk about this show last week, but look, the big brother COVID got me. All right, it tried to take me out, but you know what? I said you will not hold me back. And then I got on the line. I said, who wants to talk about evil with me? And guess what? I got Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer. What's up?
Hello, everyone. I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. And, I think I'm going to get rid of most of my freestanding closets from this point.
I guess they all got to go, huh? They got to get out of here.
Yep.
All right, so we have the finale of the season and the series of Evil. I guess the best way I can open this up is, you know what? We'll start a little bit from the beginning on the serious beginning. When it comes to Evil, how did you come into the show, or how did you get introduced to the show? And what did you think when you first started watching it? Like the first, say, 2-3 episodes, something like that.
I'm sure you're asking that question for the audience members, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because, asking, how did you get into Evil? I got into Evil because you said I'm doing a podcast on Evil and I want you on it. And I'm like, all right, I'll give this a shot. And yeah, here we go. Wow. Just wow. I
think I saw like an episode or two, and I think I messaged you like, hey, are you watching this?
Yeah. And I'm like, guess what? I'm not. And then I started. And I didn't just start because you asked me to. I do the research on all that stuff. I'm like, oh man, let me get into this. And as I read the reviews, I'm like, what? Well, let's see what the let's see what the comment section on this show is about. What? This is so not toxic. Wow.
Just not wow.
And so sure enough, I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. All right, cool. And then I was all in. I was super all in. I was happy about that.
Oh, now I'll be honest. I saw the brother Mike Coulter on it, and I was like, hold up, he got a new show? I was like, all right, what's this? Then I said, oh, it's called Evil. All right, so supernatural horror, something like that. Let me check it out. And I saw the first episode, and I was like, oh, this is the X-Files, baby. I'm down. Like, whether it's Fringe or Evil or even Supernatural to a certain degree, like usually when it comes to X-Files babies, I'm all here for it. And I'm pretty sure there's a show that predates X-Files that was the X-Files formula. Somebody in the chat will let me know. Be like, oh well,
I can tell you,
show from 62 or something like that. Or
Kolchak the Night Stalker, back from the late 70s.
Okay, cool. So then, see, now I always have some old show that I can check out. But so I saw, Mike Coulter was in it. So it was an X-Files type show. I was like, oh, word, this is cool. And then just like bringing in the lore, and then also playing it very close to the fence in a good way, where it's like, is this real? Is this not real? Okay, hold up. People are doing this, but also this is an evil thing, but are they being moved to this, or are they just bad people? So I like how it played it early on, and they've of course done a great job as they've gone on, but I was just kind of hooked after that. I was smitten with this show, if you will.
Not smitten.
They gave us
Pepe Le Pew. Just go into the DVD section. Oh yes, evil. Oh, you have such good writing. Look at your character development. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, and we we were treated early on to like Leland and all of this weird stuff going on. So I fell head over heels for this show. And even though I have had my issues with the communication of the team and the dumbness of Kristen, but I understand she's a frazzled person. She's all over the place, but you know, it it really it nagged me throughout the show, but she did pull it together from time to time. And I guess I'll jump into the finale here. She seemed to pull it together here. Here in this finale, when you see Kristen, when she she's in culminating in the finality of her possibly her role. How you feeling about Kristen, especially with Leland?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I strongly disagree with every word out of your mouth as far after I first had a problem with Kristen. I'm sorry, man. Never before have I seen such a subtle character arc as if to look invisible. Because I'm like, you know what? Have you learned nothing? Is that it? You've learned nothing.
Hey
Okay.
man, I can't help. I can't help.
Like I'm talking about Kristen. Okay, I'm really talking about Kristen.
But I was just saying, like, I can't help it, meaning like her, like, I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm trying to be trying to be an assessor, trying to be a mom, trying to be a psychiatrist, a psychologist. She's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I know what it's like to have it hard. Okay. And being arched. I get that, having an evil force look at you personally saying, "You're my hobby now." I get it, And essentially, being the single mom of television, I so understand the struggle. But there's one thing about this show that kind of irked me, and it went all the way to the end, and it really hurt my soul.
Okay.
And it was now I don't mess around with the church. You know this, okay?
Yeah.
But just because I don't mess around with the church does not mean I'm a non-believer in the supernatural. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So how does that manifest itself? In this show, yeah, she hated the patriarchy. She hated the way that the church upholds and justifies the patriarchy. All right, I'm with that. Okay, that's fine.
Cool.
That's the whole thing. But to say I don't like this organization equaling what the organization is talking about is an absolute lie. Now, on the same token, y'all know I don't mess with the church. All right, I don't mess with the church, and I don't mess with the public face of religion. Okay, I don't do that specifically because of the church. I don't mess with that, primarily because of the whole exclusivity thing.
Okay.
The believe in our way or else you are going to suffer for as long as time is time. And I'm like, okay, well, what about the people that are in non-developed countries? What about the people y'all haven't gotten to? Are they just screwed? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I question the concept of what the church says, but I don't question whether or not there's something out there bigger than us. You feel me?
Gotcha.
So that's where I sit with it. And what I gotta say is Ben was magnificent. And he's like, I'm an agnostic skeptic. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff. Can I explain it away with science? No. Can I explain it away with science now? No. Okay, how about now? No. All right, fine. I can't explain it away. There's something. There's something out there. Okay, fine. All right, there's something. I'm not gonna put a label on it, but there's something more than me. I'll own up to that.
Mhm.
You know. But a lot of folks, you know, sit on the Kristen arc where it is, I don't like my introduction to this concept, therefore the concept itself is absolute garbage. And I'm like, yeah, that's very closed off, especially for educated people. And
Yeah.
with Kristen, there was no evolution on that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
since we're talking the finale, let's talk about the show. After the nightmares, after George, after committing murder, after being possessed by a demon and having been exorcised.
Mhm.
Okay. Um,
And kind of knowing, but just not admitting to herself that she was exercised.
and it's all out of that kind of pride. And that's my big problem. You know, because again, that's all I saw was pride and stubbornness. And I'm just kind of going, yeah, man, no.
It's almost stubbornness and to the point of stupidity.
Yeah. I mean, even her mom, who didn't like the church, went to the other side. But she
Like,
didn't walk away from
her
the
mom was
whole game.
Her mom was like, "There's demons." And he was like, "Yeah, you know, people have no, just regular old demons, like just regular, like they're just walking around chilling. Like, no, not like thinking people are bad or me using a euphemism or a metaphor. No, just they're demons.
Right.
Like they just walk around and the demons just chilling out."
Exactly. And what does she do? You know, she goes, okay, well, I'm joining the demon organization. I've got my own reasons for doing so, but I'm still doing it. You know, she didn't say, I don't like the church, therefore there is nothing.
Yeah. It,
you know,
Kristen was, to the end. I mean, to the very end, it's still like, yeah, you know, there's nothing that we never got that moment where she was like, okay, I'm gonna give up a little ground. I've seen some stuff. Like we never got that. But
right.
at least we did get someone who seemed to be a little more formidable. Like she seemed to be before she took care of the psycho serial killer that he was possessed, that we now know was possessed, or maybe he wasn't, but he was definitely something going on. Like after she killed him, she seemed to have more and more gumption about herself.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Yeah, to the point where when Leland approaches her in this episode, she's just like, Tase. She's not. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever, Tase. And then when he kind of like wakes up a little bit, she's like, Tase again.
Yeah, that's the part. That part right there. I'm just kind of going. She did evolve, but she really didn't, because it was a devolution. You know, she just totally went, hey, guess what? Nah. Nah, not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, not even playing anymore. Just, and you know what? To leave her alone for a little bit. Kristen's issues is also not protecting her daughters properly due to leaving those AR goggles in the house. Like this okay. I'm going to talk about the girls for a second, but the goggles are an awesome callback, but the goggles should not have been there. Also, girls, come on, girls. I understand the younger two, but Lynn, I need you to step in. Come on, Lynn. Lynn should have been like, y'all, come on, leave these things alone. And then I guess her leadership was, all right, the oldest two, we gonna do the crazy thing. Y'all, it's like, I guess, but Yeah, that's not the best leadership then, but I'm gonna let you slide on it because I mean, as an older brother, I've done some dumb stuff, so I guess I'll let you slide. But
Right.
at least with me, okay. Shouts out to all the older kids that did dumb stuff, but at least I was doing new dumb stuff. Like I wasn't doing the old dumb stuff that I had already got in trouble for. Like like if I got in trouble for the goggles, I didn't mess with the goggles anymore. Now I did something new that got me in trouble, but just not something old. And when we find out, okay, when we find out that the girls are back with the goggles, but then also that technically through these goggles, they've allowed DF into the home and everything, I was like, oh my God, how subtle and insidious is DF? I mean,
Right.
on an evil, crazy side, the goggles and the software, everything is brilliant from DF. But dag, did the girls not just give them everything, bro? I mean, gave them everything. They're able to recreate the whole house and then put in fake, subliminal messages straight to your brain and stuff. Man, it. Girls, please, come on, girls. All right, I know you're not going to follow all the rules because you're kids, but just follow the serious ones. All right, and then also like compare notes, because Laura, you saw those red eyes glowing after you took the AR goggles off. Like you knew there's something real and crazy. Like y'all have seen enough crazy stuff not to mess with them goggles no more. But at least they did report what they saw.
Yes.
They did not keep it a secret like the adults do.
So I ain't gonna lie. After watching the whole show, I gotta say, those girls, okay? Those girls, the way that they go, the way that they is, the way that they are, okay, are still my favorite girls, and they're my favorite kids in TV.
You know what? I think I am willing to agree. These girls may, you know what? This group of girls may have to take the crown from the young ladies in the Facts of Life. I might have to give the new crown to these.
Lynn over Tootie.
like I love Tootie, and I mean, shouts out to Tootie because you know what I'm saying. Hey, all right. Back when I was a young man, all right. When I was a young, shouts to Regine. But all I'm saying is, these girls is good. Like they be getting they sleuth, Sherlock Holmes skills on. Like they should be the assessors. Like,
if
with
the
adults that be
future
doing
wasn't
the
so
most
hard
wrong.
to speculate, that would be the spinoff show I would watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that, especially the way this episode ended. We'll get to that later. But yeah, these girls, they seem like real sisters. I want to see them in something else together as sisters again. Like it's like I know this isn't the same show, but can y'all be sisters again? Because y'all actually do a great job. Like the whole talking at the same time. Like I know groups of sisters like this.
Oh yeah,
I know older groups of sisters that still do this.
I honestly,
all the aunties get together and they
but
still kind of act like this.
now I see any group of kids over 3 children. You put more than 3 kids together, and that's what you're gonna get. That's just what you're gonna get. They're all gonna talk. It's all gonna be super urgent, and it's all gonna be loud.
And then you got the one cool laid back one, Lexus. She was like, "Look, y'all in trouble, not me." She was like, that scene was hilarious because she was like, "Look, I don't have nothing to do with this one." She's like, "Look, I bit a lady's finger off. I got a tail. Look, I just leave me out of it.
Yeah,
I got my own struggles."
Yeah,
But
just like I gotta say, Lexus is the literal embodiment of you do you.
yeah, like look, y'all in trouble. Like I was just chilling, holding the baby. I wasn't doing anything. But yeah, these girls are like they're just awesome, man. The way they casted these young ladies is just incredible. But seeing them play out in this episode, seeing how Laura held down Timothy, seeing just all of these different moments with them is a credit to how I guess I'll give Kristen this a credit to how, well, maybe not a credit to how she raised them, or maybe didn't raise them and they had to kind of raise themselves. Because there may be some truth to this. Chris Rock has a bit in one of his stand-ups where he says the oldest kid is basically the default adult, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what went on in this house. And I've experienced it. Anyone else who's been the oldest, or if there was a split, like say if like brother and sister are like 20, and then there's a big split, and the next one is like 13, 8, and 7 or something like that, then that 13-year-old is now the default adult. So, but whoever's the oldest of that grouping, yeah, it usually goes like that. It there's I've heard many a time in my household and other households like, all right, look, I'm going to this, I'll be back in a few hours, don't open the door, make sure your little brother do this, don't let your little sister do that, I'll be right back. If you have any problems, call the neighbor. Like I've seen those situations and I've been in those situations. So Lynn, the way this played, maybe Kristen raised them well, or maybe they just came together as a unit because mom wasn't there. Mom was like, yeah, I'm going to work. So Lynn, make him some grilled cheese and I'll be back. Like,
And I
and then
want to see all that homework done
Lynn, just check their homework and give them cereal and I'll be back. I'll be back after they're in the bath.
after work. Yeah, I'll be back after work. That's what we got.
Yeah, this all you're gonna get. Look, I'll just be back when I be back. Don't ask. So I love the way they played out in this episode, even into like the end scene, but the way they handled themselves, with each issue of Ghost, or the I don't know, little demons, or dealing with the possessions, or the stuff with the toilet, they always tackled it as a group, and there was never really a large issue between any of them. Not that like dragged on for episodes and episodes and things like that. So I love those girls. They're awesome. Look better. I give them a higher grade than the adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Oh boy.
seriously.
But I did want to ask you your thoughts on the AR goggles and I guess the kind of journey it took, Ben, that it took David, Kristen on, what do you think, how much of that do you think is DF kind of planting it and maybe also divining some of it, if
All of
divine
it.
would be a good word?
All of it. Yeah. All of it. Because see, I've said this on the show so many times. Okay, so many times. The best lies, the most believable lies, consist of 80% truth. All right, that's just what it is. That's what it is, what it has been, what it currently is. All right.
All right, I got you.
So, what it really comes down to, and I mean really, really comes down to, is DF goes, all right, what is it can we do to really make you hurt? What can we do? How can we get under your skin and make you hurt? Well, let's look at Ben. What's your pain point, Ben? Hey, the love of your sister combined with your sister's faith. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's
And I
just
wonder-
twist that wound there.
Yeah, because it seemed like they never really had a crossover or any knowledge of the Jinn.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was wondering if we would ever see a scene where maybe the Jinn knew about them and they knew about the Jinn, even though they weren't working together. Like they knew of each other, but we
You
didn't
know,
get a scene like that.
it's a hard one because this show did what it always does. Okay, always,
Hmm.
which is it leaves you with the question of was this resolved? You know, I mean, that's really what it was. Because um, once we found out that DF's whole plan, and I know we're gonna get to that in this episode, but when we got to the part where it turns out DF's whole plan is like, oh no, we're gonna mess with their minds. That's what we're doing. We're putting despair and demons directly into their brain. That's what we're gonna do. So,
Yeah, and
was it a
I hate to
hallucination?
give them a
Was
slow
it?
clap, but it's it's a great idea. I mean, it's
Oh god, the tone of your voice, I could hear your head actually sink and shake while you
like
were
it's.
saying that.
I mean, it is a great idea. I mean, it's like why it's easier. You save 15% of gas by switching to AR. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to like go to people and spread despair anymore. You can just straight up load from the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an awesome idea. I mean,
And working from home is statistically proven to be more productive.
yeah, it is. I recommend it. But the, the way DF, I will say, with the AR goggles, the way they did the trips for everyone in a very personal way, even to get people to come to Kristen's house because they were trying to break down that door, all of those things, and to have it so intertwined with all of their like, I guess, software, technological plans. It was top quality, man. Like it was a great showing from DF. Like because the story kind of left DF alone for a long time. So we didn't know I mean, even the 60, when they bring the 60 back into this, and I guess we can talk about the 62, like when they bring the 60 back into this, it's like, oh, now I would have liked to see a little bit more setting up, but I do enjoy that we get a sense that DF was still doing something. They didn't just rest on their laurels. They said, hey, we're bad guys. We got things to do. And when the 60 returns, or I guess when the plot of the 60 returns,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know what? This is honestly a great idea. I mean, you guys got to go down, but this is an awesome idea. Like the perfect mapping of the brain and everything. And then, of course, we find out when our heroes find out. So that makes it even cooler because we're not watching the show saying, hey guys, there's something going on with the goggles or something. I mean, shoot, I had forgotten about the goggles because I thought she had thrown those away. So I'm like, what? You still got the goggles? Why would you keep the goggles? So, of course, seeing Ben's research and how it plays out with the mapping of it, it's perfect. It's an awesome plan. It's perfect. And I think what you were talking about in previous reviews, this does set it up for a lot more, like much more, if they wanted to, or if they could, if it ever gets picked up or if it gets changed or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
the plan of DF was awesome, man. The AR goggles, the mapping Kristen's house, forcing people to come there just to like antagonize her and break down the wall. It perfect because they were mad that she closed up that wall,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that's a word in general. Even if you want to take it into the real, people that enjoy misery and enjoy stirring up stuff in your life will be angry when you put up a wall between you and them and say you can't have access to me or my life anymore.
Oh, look at you getting all deep.
Well, I try. I know I can't always give the spiritual side because not everybody's gonna be like they're not gonna take the spiritual side. So I try to give them a little bit of the physical side too. I try, but I know so like you got some thoughts on the whole way the AR goes down and how the 60 return, which was awesome. How did you see that, especially with the I guess the attack on the house and all of that?
Well, was it an attack on the house? I mean, I kind of looked at it as the masters of petty. Like, okay, you're going to put up a wall between us? Cool. We're just going to send everybody over there and they're just going to walk around. And some of them are just going to run inside and break down the wall. How's that?
So, right, I mean, it was creepy. Like, why are these people in the window? And then immediately, like, Leland did this. I don't know what it is, but Leland did this. I know he did. So the whole part of like we're taking this wall down, so you can forget that it's over. We're taking it down. Man, once again, I love that idea and the way they played it out narratively really worked in this episode. Where I was surprised because this episode is only like an hour long. I mean, I guess you take out the intro and outro, maybe around 50 or so minutes.
Of course.
And
I was hoping for a 2-hour
like
finale.
They got me too. But it seemed like they got a lot done in this. Now
I can't say that
they sped along, in my opinion, but it seemed like they got a lot done as far as like the revelations. But
the revelations, they did do a lot. But they left way too many open ends for my taste. We talked about one with Ben and the Jen. It was like, well, we get. Yeah, I mean, what's the deal, guys? Was it a real one? Was it not a real one? What's going on? Then there was, of course, the elephant in the room, our boy Andy. I'm like, did the actor just quit? Was he no longer available? Like, what's up with this? Because that was an amazingly unsatisfactory story arc.
Yeah,
like really unsatisfactory.
It did surprise me how quickly they turned him, and then they were just like, all right, he's gone. Don't worry about it. So but with these, continue with the loose threads that are on your mind, because I have a couple that are on my mind too, but I think it lines up with what you were saying before in another review, but go ahead.
Yeah. And we never found out why. Like, we didn't get a definitive answer as to why the diocese closed the church.
Nope.
It was just, it happens. And I know in life things just happen, but I ain't talking about life. I'm talking about a TV show that's coming to an end.
And also in Evil, so much seemed deliberate in this show.
Expand on.
There were people, behind the scenes forcing this to happen, or this was really Leland's doing, or something, something like that. And they were just like, well, the archdiocese, they want you gone. Goodbye.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, what? And again, is Grace alive?
Yeah. Because
where'd she go?
I said long ago, in maybe like episode 3 or 4 of this season, I assume in the finale we'll see, Sister Andrea, David, and Grace come together for some big revelation kind of thing, and they all kind of have to use each other's skills and talents to be able to stop a large faction of the 60 or something. And
not on this show. On this show, you get a Zoom call. And I mean, yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, Grace, who I love, just disappeared. But once again, if you have Grace, Sister Andrea, and David all in the same place to compare notes, then the show ends extremely fast.
Yeah. I'm glad you're starting to say that out loud. I'm like, that's normally my point. It's like, man, why the brother always got to get killed at the beginning? Because we have too much common sense for there to be a plot.
Yeah, we're gonna tell everyone to leave or something. But that's why I figured they would come together in the finale because it's like, okay, well, this is the finale. Of course, it's gonna end fast now because there's only say 20 minutes left in the story or something like that.
Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie. This episode did a lot of things amazingly,
Hmm.
such as they got me. Yeah, they really got me. And you know how they got me?
How?
Oh no! What are you doing? I'm not supposed to be a sacrifice. Ah! Somewhere over the rainbow. I'm like, they're actually auditioning people for this thing. And again, I keep forgetting that the show was set in New York. But New York is to theater, like is to the stage, what LA is to movies.
Hmm.
So you put out a casting call and people are gonna go that high over the top all the time. And it's like, oh,
True.
by the way, since every job is just an audition for the next job, let me show you what else I can do. Let me show you what else I can do. And the fact that it was all a ruse
And
just made me smile. I mean,
but Sister Andrea saw it super early, and nobody wanted to listen to her.
what didn't she see?
I mean, I can't believe that they wouldn't even. She's been right too many times to not at least hear her out.
But that's the thing. She's been right to the wrong people. And that is a really big thing. Like, when she speaks up to David, he almost drops everything and says, all right, what you got?
Yeah.
But most of the other people in the church don't like her. Because again, that whole patriarchy thing and that the place of women and all that stuff, thus her new assignment.
Hmm.
you know
They were like, "Look, you gonna shut up for the rest of your life."
you can either stop being a nun or you can shut your mouth. you know and I'm like, that's not going to stop her because truth is tamper resistant.
Yeah, you can't really stop when she's just dropping gems, whether she has to write it on a piece of paper or not. But
Mhm.
you know, she called David. She's like, "Look, all the demons are gone. Like something, whatever they think is happening is not happening." And the
Right.
attack, the trap they laid for the entity was perfect.
Oh
It
my
was.
lord.
They were like, "Y'all are so gullible. We've got you." I mean, they got in there. The dude's looking around like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Hey, are how'd you like it?"
Well,
Then they
the
gas
biggest
them
thing,
all. Like, man, they took such a big L.
yeah, the biggest thing that got me, I mean, the really big subtext that was going on that one was evil adjusts with the times. Good tries to keep with tradition and ends up being evil.
And and any good person that's like, "Hey guys, evil is doing this, so we gotta switch up the style." So like, no one's listening to you. Ugh, oh, come on. Like, we're gonna keep doing it how we've done it ever since 1822 or something.
Because
It's
that's
like,
how it's
yeah,
always been done. It's always worked that way. Yeah, that's why the antagonists right now are beating our butts.
it's like, yeah, but
Because
they're using this. It's a trap. Don't do it. But yeah, it's whenever there's always the one person, maybe there might be two that are like, "Hey guys, we really need to update our style and how we do it because there's new I don't know, avenues that the bad guys are taking, and they're trying new plots and this, that, and third. We got to stop them this way." And like, oh, no one wants to hear that hot dogging.
yeah, exactly.
No one wants
You
to hear
know,
all that new stuff.
And
And I
it's
mean,
like,
you see
dude,
Evil is on a Zoom call. They're on a Zoom call, chilling, scrapping and everything. They're like, we've taken out the entity, or at least taken out a large portion of it. Because
uh-huh.
I think the guy said he lost 18 men, which I'm assuming that's a big hit because I
Well,
guess not
with an
too many people are in
organization
the
like the
entity.
entity, you max out at 25. If you try and
Yeah,
hold on to more
I
than
figure there can't be
25
that many
people,
people.
huh?
I figure there can't be that many people.
It really isn't, you know. And again, even when Sister Andrea like walked up to the truck going, y'all got it wrong. And they're like, look, we got muscle. She's like, uh-huh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. And I mean, I was shooting high when you said 25. I was thinking worldwide, there's probably 100 people.
Now, keep in mind
Um,
the Vatican is very small. Okay. And I mean, it's smaller than DC.
but since they're operating worldwide, I figured they had agents around, or maybe I'm thinking of this like MI6, or I'm
Yeah,
thinking
well,
of this like
see, that's
they got agents embedded in like Colombia and stuff.
all right. So I'm gonna put a thing out there that'll probably get me on a watch list. Ready? Hit me in the comments. Most people that are ops for intelligence agencies don't tend to know that they're ops.
Good point.
Okay. So you get 2025 actual agents. And they open a Taco Bell. That Taco Bell is for gathering information. Now, is the minimum wage worker making the Crunch Wrap Supremes? Rest in peace.
Not
Are
rest in
they
peace, though.
ops? Yes, they are ops because they work for the operational organization. Are they given information? Yes, they're giving logistic information as to how many Crunchwrap Supremes they make. Do they know they're giving it to an organization? No. They're making Crunchwrap Supremes and they're just hoping that their shift is over. So
Oh, man.
this big web of people that you could say a secret phrase to, touch your nose and wink, that ain't how it works, bruh.
Oh, man.
This is Dave Chappelle himself said it. Like, he wanted to thank UPS that has been one of the best drug dealers in the history of America.
Wow.
I
mean, he's probably not wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not wrong, but yeah, you're right. They're probably extremely small, and on top of them being so small, that scene where David's like, "Look, man, y'all got washed." Like, he's basically like, "Y'all got washed. Y'all got super washed, and I'm not helping unless you let me run my own thing now."
Uh-huh.
Because y'all suck. y'all suck and y'all need new leadership. Shoot, I mean, hey, just by the sheer fact of what happened today, I'm like a general now, right? Like, I mean, wartime promotion. Like, I shot up the ranks.
Pretty much.
Like, I shot up at the ranks pretty quick. So
that right there is straight up Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
it's like, hey, look, hey, look, I was the head of the National Education Agency. Yeah, everybody else in government is gone. Wait, I'm the president now? Yeah, but see, books. That's all I was into.
So that was cool seeing him say like, hey, you got to let me run my own program. But I guess, you know what? Speaking of that, let me back up a little bit. My bad. The jobs. Seeing everyone in their new jobs, seeing our team sort of say goodbye to one another. When they were burning the files, which I thought the Vatican had taken those files, but I guess not. But he was like, "This is my program, so I'm gonna burn all these files."
Yeah.
And you see them be like, "Hey, remember the demon elevator?" That's another thing. They like laughed it off and burned the files, but it's like, yeah, but
I remember the demon elevator.
Let's not laugh that off, because it's not normal to have to press all these little weird buttons and us see all these things and those screams we heard and what I experienced. Now, someone could say, "Oh, it's just the best of elevator," but that is very, very intentional button pressing to have a mistake happen. Like that's not a mistake. All right. It's super intentional button pressing. All right. And then for this thing to be known worldwide. So if that's the case, does this happen on other buildings too? Is this once again, like you said, threads? We don't even ask any more questions. We just like, hey, thank God Ben's alive. All right, look, screw this building. We out. Because we don't, like you said, we don't ask any questions. I guess I can understand. It's bad enough you don't believe in this stuff. So when something weird does happen and you get out of it, you don't want to know anymore. Like, it's like, you know what? Hey, I don't want to know anymore. But seeing our team together, saying goodbye, Ben's like, look, man, I'm not going to Rome. He's like, look, I can't do it. I'm getting paid a lot of I can't remember what they offer him, like 650, and then someone else offered him 900.
No, the Vatican was offering 65,000, and the job that he took was paying 650.
Yeah,
and he's like, y'all have fun in Rome.
He's like, yeah, have a good one in Rome. I mean, I guess maybe it could even out because I'm assuming that they're covering room and board in Rome.
No.
Oh. He was like, no. He was like, no, it doesn't even out.
The only place that a 10x difference in pay can actually even out is between, say, I don't know, Malibu and Beijing.
Wow. Yeah, I was
and we're talking 10 times.
650,000. I'm like, bro, you can't. Nah. I'm not someone who says I'm all about the money, but you got to take that. Like, Ben, you got to take that.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, let me just check something.
Like, send us a little cheese every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Won't you, Ben? Please. But seeing them kind of have their moment together was, I think, something that we as viewers needed, and I'm glad we got it. But in that experience, it did make me think about what you were saying with this show not truly ending, but kind of changing. When you gave the example of Narcos and Narcos Mexico, because in that case, the show could the show continue? Yeah, I think so, because there's so much that they left, which makes me wonder if they are planning on continuing it in some form later. Yeah, because one of my favorite threads is RSM fertility, and we just left. I mean, she had her friend that's like a PI or something come in and track down the egg and everything. Now, I mean, of course, we found out where the egg went and what happened, but they're still. I mean, they're taking other people's babies. We researched like 3 or 4 evil kids, or maybe they weren't evil, but they were not happy children. We didn't shut them down. We didn't do anything. We just kind of was like, all right, well, there's other things to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I get it, but also, I don't know.
Yeah. And for the record, bro, $650,000 is $312.50 per hour.
That's nice.
Okay. An hour.
Whatever he's doing.
So we're talking like $31 an hour? $312 an hour.
I feel like in jobs like that, what you're really getting paid for is to not tell anybody what you work on.
Yeah, actually, that's
Like,
straight
I don't
up.
think it's really what you're doing anymore. Or, well, I mean, I get it. I guess it is what you're working on, but not really what
Um,
you're doing.
no, absolutely, especially okay, especially if you work in a cubicle. Okay.
Like, look, we're doing something mad illegal, or if anyone that didn't have a government contract were doing this, it would be mad illegal. But since we have some kind of government contract or security clearance, it's okay. But you can't talk about anything you do at your job, and that's why we're paying you this. We're paying you essentially to shut up.
Yeah, again, in a cubicle. All right, that is. So, how much is the CEO making? One might wonder.
Yeah, because if someone in a cubicle, what, 650,000 a year, that's 1%, right? That's got to be in the 1%. So for the people in the cubicle to
No,
be in
the
the
one
1%,
percent. No, bro, that's bottom 20.
so how much money do you have to make yearly to be in the 1%? Because I'm assuming that 650,000 a year at least gets you
Um,
to the top. I don't know, four,
no,
3 or 4%.
we're talking tens of millions to be in the top one.
Okay, yeah,
Keep in mind, number one is in 100 billion territory.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like the top 1% in our like country, not like the top. I
Oh,
mean, not like the top earners, but like top 1% of like I guess income in this country.
okay.
Because that's
So
pretty. Because 650 is pretty high,
a
and they
website that
just sit
no
in a
longer
cubicle.
exists because its owner said something about a national tragedy. At its height was 2 million a year to run. So,
Okay,
given
okay.
that, I would say that top 1% would still be tens of millions.
All right, so 650, maybe 650 ain't what it used to be, but
Yeah.
I'm
It's
look
what Chris Rock
650 ain't,
used to say, bro.
bruh.
You know,
650
Chris,
ain't bad.
Shaq is rich, but that top 1% is wealthy. They are the people who sign Shaq's checks.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, good one. I remember that one. Like
Yeah. See,
those people that are having like making development deals, and I mean, you live in LA. I used to live in LA. I've been working in real estate for a long time. I've met some of these developers,
mhm.
and the the ease at the ease of how they just do money things is
Well, do many
interesting to
things
me.
on our level. But I know people that are in that top 20% that's like, oh, sure, I loaned my friend $38,000. I know he'll get it back to me next month.
Yeah, because when you start meeting like these people that are like, oh, okay, yeah, we're putting a hotel and a spa over in Palm Spring Desert, and we're building this, and like the people that are like making deals with like governors to get building contract, would you mean they do real money stuff like it's normal? Like, how you might order a pair of headphones from Amazon? That's how they buy a couple new cars. Like,
Yes.
and I've been sitting around some of these people and be like, wow,
Yeah.
wow. So,
Dude, I
wow.
worked with somebody, or I worked for somebody rather, and he was like, "Man, my truck is my truck is getting on my nerves." Next day, walked in with a brand new truck. He just walked into the dealership, bought a brand new truck, cash, and went to work. Now, wasn't a haggle, wasn't an all-day thing, wasn't how you show up to the car dealership and then they keep you there for hours and hours and hours trying to squeeze a worse interest rate out of you. He just walked in, said, I'll take that one, and then walked. And again, he was top 20%. So that top 1%, okay, we're Leland, that top 10%. all the demon faces, those are the 1%.
Yeah, like I remember someone asking me what wealthy means to me. Like when I was in a conversation with like a whole bunch of finance people and stuff when I was at this kind of like it's kind of like a business meeting luncheon thing, and because they wanted my perspective, I don't know why. I guess they were like pick the poorest guy and ask him, but I was like,
Excuse me, poor Negro. Can you
ask the
tell
black
us
guy.
about
They don't
this?
have money. Ask them. But
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
me,
Yeah.
I was like, wealth to me is you don't have to ask. And they were like, what? I was like, if your mom's sick, she can go to the hospital. You don't have to ask. If your car breaks down, you can buy a new one. You don't have to ask. If the roof needs to be repaired, it's repaired. You don't have to ask. Like whenever you have to be like, how much is that going to cost? When you have to ask, you're not wealthy. When you can just be like, hey, you know what? The roof is tripping. You know, there's birds up there. So you get the roof fixed. And you call a guy and you just get the roof fixed.
Yeah.
And like you didn't have to ask. That's when you're at the level where it's all good. That's like, you know, when you can buy all 4 tires at once, that's when it's all. Shouts out to my people that had to buy one. They'd be like, all right, look, can I get, all right, so can I get, can we buy one tire? Can we fix a flat in the other one, and then it'll be okay? Well, okay, let's do that. Like, but shouts out to all my people that got to do that. But yeah, when you don't have to ask, that's when it's like you're at the wealthy level. When you can just be like, oh, you know what? My brother got in a car accident. He's not going to be able to work. His family needs some help. No problem. Like, not, hey, let me call my sister. Let me call my uncle. Let's see what we can do to take care of. No, you can just be like, oh, look, of course, you know, hey, you got in a car accident. No problem. The lawyers are going to take care of that. Here's the money. You don't have to worry about any wages because we know how jobs get. Like when you can say stuff like that, that's when you're at that, like, that's the DF level. That's
Now, the DF level is when you can do that with heart surgery.
Yeah.
When you can be like, oh, had a heart attack, gotta go get a bypass. I'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah, when you don't have to ask for anything you need, like when you don't have to ask for the price of anything you need, and you can just live, that's when you're wealthy. When you made it, that's it.
Yeah.
Like there's never an emergency because you can cover it. Like no one. Oh, also, no one is calling you about money you owe them. Like your phone isn't ringing. You're not getting
your phone
you're not
is
getting
ringing
letters
because
in the mail.
people are asking you to fund things. I met someone a long time ago who was very rich, and she was born rich, and her outlook was very interesting. But what she said was also very interesting in the sense of she was at a level of money, okay, where she was not allowed to spend any. I will explain.
Okay. So like part of a trust or something like that?
No. It's just she had so much money that people were always trying to foot the bill because they felt bad for not, or they were trying to show that they didn't need her for money.
Okay, I get it. Because you don't want her to think that, oh, you know, I'm just using you kind of thing. Over and over. Or like the only reason we invited you or the only reason we want you around is because we know you have money.
Exactly. So she didn't pay for anything because everybody picked up the check every time.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's interesting.
That's an interesting switch on like how you would expect things to go.
Yeah. You know, when I talk to my super rich friends, I'm like, come on over for coffee. Hey, we could go in. I can't afford that. And you know that. Come on over for coffee and we'll watch some cartoons.
Yeah, because my situation on that would probably be like, hey man, look, I can't go there, but if you wouldn't mind a Chipotle,
Exactly, you know.
but if you wouldn't mind something a little more Olive Garden, maybe
Oh, Olive Garden. Look who's getting all fancy.
like look, street, any kind of like street like vendors or something like that, but I've seen the places you guys like to go. And also, you guys don't like, I'm gonna just say this. Rich people, I see the place y'all go, and y'all don't even finish y'all food. Like y'all stunting now. Like, you know good and well that hamburger costed a good $50 and you ain't even finish it.
Okay, so
That's why I can't roll with y'all. Look, just come to me. All right, we gonna go.
all
We gonna
right.
hit something up on Culver Boulevard or something, and we gonna chill. We still gonna have a good time. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hate to
This,
be
this is
that
not gonna be
guy.
that expensive.
I hate to be that guy. All right.
Hmm.
But see, I do a couple of fancy things. All right. I do a couple of fancy things myself.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because before, like I all right, so all the viewers know I smoke. Matter of fact, I believe one of your commenters was he smokes royally.
Yeah. Open mind said that.
Okay. And now I smoke American spirits, okay? Those are literally the most expensive cigarettes on the market, okay?
Mhm.
Literally the most expensive. All right. Those are, or at least the most expensive on the standard market. Like you go into a 7-Eleven, you want to get a pack of Marlboros or something, it'll be like, $9. American spirits start at 12. Okay. It's
Ah.
terrible. Don't start, kids. Anyway, um, now before I start smoking American spirits, I smoked pretty much everything. Specifically, everything I could buy with the money in my pocket when I didn't have a pack of smokes. I ain't proud. So if I was gonna get waves at like $3 a pack, I preferred Camels. All right, yeah, Camels just standard things. No, I didn't smoke Newports. I don't like menthol. I know. That's another hit on my black card. But
You don't smoke Cool Miles.
no, no, I don't. I don't like menthol. Um, but as I was saying, with all of that wackiness, all right. Um, a friend of mine gave me a 3-inch stack of buy one get one for American Spirits. All right. So it essentially, and this was years ago, but essentially, it cut my bill into, oh god, in a nutshell, it made it so that I was paying maybe 2/3 of my cigarette cost a day. Okay, with these premium brands. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, exactly. It was by 2/3. Here's the thing: when those coupons ran out, I'm like, well, guess I'm going back to smoke my regular brand, and I went from a pack a day to 3.5. Because once you hit that bougie stuff, and you get used to that
Not the
bougie
bougie
stuff,
stuff.
oh yeah, once you get used to bougie, when that's your normal, everything else is dollar store. It just don't work. I mean, I'm
I feel you. I
serious
feel you.
about, yeah, I'm serious about my steak, my coffee, and my cigarettes. So I smoke very strong coffee. All right. Essentially, I drink espresso by the coffee mug. I'm not
Wow.
exaggerating. Which means when I go in a 7-Eleven, I just think it's cute. Because it doesn't taste like nothing and it doesn't keep me awake. So I'm like, wow, this is brown water. Isn't that fun?
Wow.
So these people that order these $70 burgers and don't finish them, to them, it's like us ordering McDonald's and going, nah, these fries are cold.
It's like, you know what? These fries are kind of cold. And also, guys, don't eat at McDonald's, please. They didn't sponsor this video. Just eh,
There are so many better places.
your stomach will trust. Your stomach will thank me. Trust me. I know it seems good at the time, but about 10, 15 minutes after you eat it, you're like, I shouldn't have ate that.
All right, now see that's your 40 talking. All right, that's your 40s talking because there was a time I would tear up some Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, of course, you can't.
But
These days, you
be,
can't have cheeseburgers at like 4 in the morning. You can't do
you
that
know,
stuff.
but being on the other side of 45, I look at Taco Bell and I go, "Remember when we ate that? Yeah, I remember."
Man, don't eat that rat meat, y'all. We're not
You know,
sponsored. We're not sponsored. No.
and we'll talk like that. We ain't gonna be.
Now, I will say that is the one thing that I am bougie about. And guys, I know we're on our money shenanigans right now. You can click the next part of the next. You can click the next chapter. But when I had my child, I was like, okay, all right, I'm not the richest man in the world, but I want him to be able to eat better than I did because one part of being black in America, it usually at least at a certain class level,
Oh, don't start
you
talking
are
that
you are
trash on soul food, man.
you are taught to eat a certain way, and it's usually the cheapest. The cheaper the better, but the cheaper the better is not better for your health. So ever since I had a child, I was like, I've made a conscious effort at you know buying the best quality that I possibly could. There's certain grocery stores I don't rock with no more. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, you know what I'm saying, don't get it sleep, don't get it twisted. Your brother knew. I know about that bologna. I know about powdered milk, unfortunately. I know about dry Cheerios for dinner. I get it. But, I was just like, look, I got to make a change for my son. So, now I don't do those things. I be in that organic. I be looking at the label and stuff. I don't be wanting all them chemicals, all right, up in my son's stomach, all right. But when you be looking at them labels, that dollar amount go up, man. It
See,
do, and
it's
it
actually
it ain't
funny.
easy because that
We
dollar amount be going
actually
up. And when you
we
look at
disagree on that.
the other dollar amounts, and you be like, yo, man, why can't this be as much as that? Because I want to pay that amount, but I just don't want chemicals in my ingredients.
Again, well, the chemicals is what makes them cheap. But we disagree on that in the sense of I do want what's better for my kids, but I really wanted my kids to have a lived experience of things getting better because
Okay.
most people have this idea of the way that it's always been for them is the way that it's been through history. You know, so we want our children to be better. Don't get me wrong. We want them to have nicer stuff and all that stuff. But remember what I said about getting used to stuff?
Oh yeah, true.
Because it's like I know way too many of my friends who grew up on that upper side of middle class and then lost everything and then had to go to straight middle class and they just the
Oh, see
yeah
the kids that don't know, like, see, because we can fall back and be like, all right, man, pork and beans, it's whack, but I'm gonna have to do that. But see, they don't know about that fall back. Be like, all right, what is pork and beans? Be like, all
and
right,
yet
well, see,
every
all
single
right,
one of them
take a
loves my
can of
cooking.
beans. You take a
Yeah.
can of beans, right? And then you
Mhm.
take some cheap hot dogs as cheap as possible.
Right.
Cut them things into little, I guess, circles, and you just pray for the best, man.
And
Let it
with
simmer in the
stuff like
pot for a
that,
little bit, and you just eat it.
yeah, and with stuff like that, I get a lot of them going, well, can we do it leaner? Can we not use this type of ingredients? Can we get this? I don't eat this kind of stuff. I'm like, cool, don't eat. Well, can you pay for it? And then they get mad and they stay mad, So,
It's like you
um,
can, but we're going to the grocery store and we only have this. And see, you can't blow your whole load on like half a pack of turkey when like the when the chemical turkey, you can get 3 times
Yeah, and
the chemical
that
turkey gonna have
was.
to do right now until we get back up.
Hey,
I
I've been
right.
in a lot of situations where people are looking at me and they're like, "Ain't you hungry?" I'm like, kind of," but I don't get hangry because I grew up poor, not broke, poor.
Yeah, there's a
My mom
difference.
was broke, but I'm the youngest of four, technically five. Uh, so there was nothing left for me by the time that got in. So being hungry is just a way of life, you know. However, when I eat well, I appreciate it. And when I can't eat well, I'm not angry about not being able to eat well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, look, hey, we get it. We gotta look. I know all about. See, what you do is you go to the grocery store's website. You're going to fill up the cart. All right, everything you want. Now, everything you want is going to be around $800. Now you go in and chisel that bad boy down to what you know good and well you got the money for.
Yeah. Like Kristen's kids,
Yeah, and then make some candy salad.
you
But all
know.
right, so I'm gonna roll back to the story. We do get some insight into organizational structure with the gray man on the Zoom call.
Yes.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was something that I didn't expect, but it was something I didn't know I needed until I had it.
Yeah, it
You know,
it let you know like, oh, okay. So even the guy that came to save Leland, even he's not the okay. So he's not the man. So I guess the gray man is the man, like, or
um,
at least in this context, because he the way he let it be known was like he was in charge, and
well,
both of them looked like dad just yelled at him after he got off the call.
what I saw was not exactly first amongst equals, but the 60 are essentially equal in power. So if one of them goes, "Rrr," nobody else is going to help. Yeah. So it's like, you got a whole bunch of people with guns, and one of them, you know, lokes up for a minute. And it's like, whoa, calm down, man. We'll give you what you need. All right, cool. Like that scene in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they vote for the Pirate King, but everybody always votes for themselves.
True. And like, so seeing that lead straight into Leland being like, hey, all right, you know what? I gotta do it. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm the only one. This is the last thing, and I know I've been slacking. And I wonder if Leland's been slacking because do you think Leland maybe thought there was a long shot that he'd be with Kristen?
Um, Not gonna lie, I have not considered that because I don't
Because
want to.
I was like, yeah, why has he been letting her slide? Like, I mean, he could have killed her like long
No,
ago.
cause
And I was like, well,
I
maybe he thought because he did always do that talk about our child and I'm the father. And I'm like, well, maybe he thought there was a chance, like a snowball chance, maybe.
in truth, I haven't considered that for one major reason.
Hmm.
I don't like the trope of the girl being the one that everybody loves. Like,
Oh,
um,
okay.
in the other one of the other shows we talk about, Cobra Kai. In first season, when Johnny met up with the old crew from Cobra Kai and everybody confessed about being in love with Allie, I'm like, nah,
It's
nah.
like there were other girls at the school,
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. Look, in the 1980s, the population of a high school in Reseda was about 1,000 people. A
and
thousand.
since half are women, half are men, it's or I mean,
Let's even
let's
go
say
two
let's say
thirds.
let's say it's yeah, let's say it's around 55, 45 or something. There's still 400 or so women there or girls there, I guess. So,
Girls. And we're not
these
talking
four
staff.
Yeah,
Because we all got that friend that had a thing for a teacher.
yeah. So it's like there's enough girls there for you to have a crush on someone else.
Yeah. So the fact that they made it clear Ben was attracted, and as we keep doing these reviews, I'm really starting to think that Ben is my favorite character because he was like, "Yeah, I'd hit that." Anyway, time to call up the Jesus girl.
Oh snap!
And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, you do you, man. Yeah. I'm kind of with this. I'm very much with this because it's like, I'm not gonna lie, Katja Herber is an attractive woman. Okay, I put that out there. Not gonna lie, I was going, hey, wait a minute, in that blue dress at the end of the show. I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? Yeah, all right, yeah, cool.
She had the stunner shades on. She put the stunner shades on.
Yeah,
couldn't tell her nothing on that.
But it's TV, and with it being TV, there are a lot of attractive women.
Yeah, like one of my favorite examples of attractive women is not because I was so like enthralled with these women, but if you watch Boston Public, okay, it's an old show.
Oh man,
if you watch Boston Public and you look at all the women that are in the office of that school, you're like, my office at school was never like this. Like, what? Y'all are clearly actresses and models that are.
Now you're quoting The Last Action Hero.
There is no office at any high school that look like this. I'm like, hold up. Even women that I'm not physically attracted to, I can look at her and say, she's pretty. And that is not what a school office looks like.
It really is how is everyone here getting the slow motion entrance? How does that work?
Another what was the show? Was it FBI? There was a show 2014-ish or something like that. I think it was called FBI. And pretty much the whole my friend said, why does everybody in the FBI show look like a group event could pop off at any time? Like because all the men are models, all the women are models. It's like, are you kidding me? Everybody looks good. Everybody, no one looks regular. Like no one at all. It's still on. But FBI, it was a show started in 2018, I think. But yeah, I think the show was called FBI, and basically I was just like, wow. So everybody's just pretty. Everybody in the world is pretty. But I mean, hey, it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
But back to Leland. That last ditch effort that he had to try to take out Kristen was quiet and very powerful, especially once Kristen got him in the kind of like in the sort of like a naked chokehold. Like when because at first I was like, there's no way she's in the shower, right? Please don't be in the shower. And then when she got him with the rope around his neck, and once she wrapped her legs around it, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. It's over.
Yeah, we are done. Yeah.
There's no way he can win. I mean, maybe I've seen a couple of people get out of that in like street fights, but it usually has to be an eye gouge that they reach back for and happen to get it, but
and never when there was a rope.
Yeah, never when there was a rope. Like, I'm like, he's done. And you can see the emotion in her face, like, no, I need to end this now. Like, it's been going on too long. But luckily, Ben and David were there to be like, come on, hold on, Nino, hold on. Never thought you were going to get a New Jack City reference and a review for Evil, did you? But he held her back, and she was like, okay. And I think that his demise was perfect for who he is. Like, having him in the silent box, guarded by Sister Andrea, and the cool, I guess,
And the
cool
cool,
beer maker.
yeah,
Like, you know what? Perfect, perfect, perfect end for him. Like, I'm, I'm happy to see that.
you know,
Like, it's, you know what? Necessary, necessary,
and it was
and it
kind of
also
weird
does
for
keep
me
him
because,
alive just in case they want to do something later.
well, the thing that got me was David just coming in being like, stop. I'm like, oh, stop trying to be all graceful. Just stop.
Like maybe
It's
like a
okay.
kicker, maybe like a kicker too while he's still on the ground.
No, he
You
already
know.
got his though, remember?
Oh yeah, he did hit him a couple times, but I mean, it's been 4 seasons, man. Another kicker, it's not gonna hurt. No. Bust up the ribs in the name of the Lord. Just but,
you
but
know, yeah, that I
it was a
mean,
fitting end for him, especially being in the quiet box. I'm happy.
I'm not gonna lie, man, that kind of messed me up.
Oh
That
really?
kind of messed me up, yeah. Because putting him in the silent box, I'm like, I see why they're doing it that way, but I don't know. I don't know. Would there have been a better end? I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I I'd love to see him actually, at last moment somebody putting a white sheet over him, but this is all we gonna get for now because it so much seems like they're planning on coming back to this or doing a spin-off of this. Because we have another thread that I thought was tied up before I get into the show as a whole, but Timothy is, I guess, not cleansed.
Yeah. And see, this is honestly, that part right there is where I gotta be like, come on, Kristen. Come on. This needs to stop. This right here. This part needs to stop. Just no. No. No, no. No, no, no. Okay? Cause I don't mind that Timothy is little demon baby. I mind
But
that
I thought we
after
fixed him.
just baptized him. That cleanses original sin.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's not like his mom is the best. I mean, it's not like his mom is going to be praying over him and being the best example she can be in front of him.
And remember, he was put together with more than original sin.
True.
So yeah, I mean, he had that seed in there the whole time. And I'm just kind of going, okay, after everything that you've been through, after all that jazz, you're hitting us with this. No. Like, it learns you nothing. Did you really learn nothing? Especially hiding it from David. I'm like, did you not learn anything? Anything at all?
Because he could have easily been like, okay, cool. Let me get with Sister Andrea. She can, give us some new techniques or something. Be like, hey, look, he's starting to exhibit, I don't know, demon stuff again, and they can give him a new holy water or something to cleanse him, do something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this is where I have to look at the writers going, all right, guys, y'all need some work. Because the fact of the matter is this. I would have been happier with that kind of resolution if Sister Andrea, before she got when David got reassigned and all that stuff, if she had, while she could talk, told David, look out for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the make sure she stays all right, no, keep your eye on that one kind of thing, in the Sister Andrea way, I would have been cool.
Yeah.
Had there been a note after she was put in the holy order of shut your mouth, cool. Because it's like, Kristen has never, like I said, her evolution is not evolution. She don't learn.
At all.
And that's the part that's really frustrating about it. It's like, you just saw that baby smile at you with fangs, and you're saying nothing to the priest that you used to take care of supernatural stuff with. Like nothing at all.
Shoot, you're in Rome doing it again.
Yeah, so it's like nothing, tra la la, you know. And David, when will you learn that when Kristen says there's nothing wrong or nothing weird, she is lying? You know, I mean, it's one thing to trust someone, but Sam Jackson said it best in Jackie Brown. I don't have to trust her, I know her.
Man, it is annoying at the least to see that at the very end. I really, that's one thing that I wish could have just got edited out. I mean,
Yeah.
let Timothy be, clean and, healthy and everything.
It's if you're not going to resolve the plot lines that you left dangling,
don't add a new one.
Yeah, just, don't remind us that there is one. Let the baptism stand.
Yeah. So I'll go in and throw it to you now. We've been chilling for a minute. I'm gonna throw it to you, I guess, for the final time on Evil, at least Evil in this incarnation. We might have Evil Rome in 2025 or something like that. But right now, for regular Evil, hit me with your final thoughts and where can they find you?
My final thought on this show is that as much as we have complained about it on this episode, I will be watching it again. This was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good supernatural thriller. It takes a lot of what's the term I'm looking for? A lot of the working parts of the formula of the police procedural, and it does something new and interesting. The casting was on point. Oh my God. What's his name? Michael Watterson is blowing up right now for a reason. He is amazing. And you could tell in every episode, almost every scene he was in, he was having a blast. There's a song by the Mars Volta called Easy When You're Evil, and it's a comedy song.
Wow.
And that could literally be Leland's theme song on this. He played that role to the hilt, from his false exorcism when he looked up at David, smiled and winked.
That is an awesome scene. It burns. Then he like winks at him.
To his menacing moment of David learning how to freaking body hop, and he looks over like, oh, hello, David. Thank you for opening this door. Now I'm gonna mess with you. He was a great antagonist. And honestly, I want more antagonists in that flavor. Kristen, with all of her faults, was an understandable mom. Notice I didn't say good mom, but an understandable one.
Okay.
She was doing the best she knew how to with what she had, other than the pride thing. And I thought that was really good. Ben, Asif Mambi, perfect performance, no notes.
Yeah, Ben is just awesome, man.
Michael Coulter. Now that's a weird one for me, because my introduction to him was Luke Cage. Okay, that was the first place I ever saw him. And the biggest thing about that is I saw a lot of Luke Cage in the whole thing, and that's just Michael Coulter's acting style. It's why he got the part in the first place. But I actually like the character of David more than I like Luke Cage. I don't know if it was because he had more seasons to show more sides, but Michael Coulter's performance, especially when it came to his conflict, the conflict of, yeah, I got a thing for the lady, but I've also got a commitment to God. You know, you think just because I take the vow, I'm no longer human, but I have a choice to make, and I'm making that choice. And it sucks. And you can see that it sucks. And I will say something we don't normally do, but I will say in this episode, my favorite moment was when the mosquito was begging him not to leave. Not because of Katja Herbers in the schoolgirl outfit, but because when he said no and closed the door, it stopped immediately. It was like they stopped the tape. And I'm like, that is the perfect way to show that it's over. You know, to show that he actually has moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that is a whole nother message right there.
Yeah. Because the moving on
wasn't
quick.
When your mind is made up and when it isn't.
Yeah, and the thing was, it wasn't a quick one. Actually, you know, it wasn't a quick resolution. That thing has been following him since the second season.
Yep.
And he put up the mosquito net. It used to like appear underneath streetlights going, hey, you know, and when he got over her in the big way that he did, then it started messing with him with his ex that died. But then when he left, it was like, oh, it's still there. Okay. And now he's walking away from the environment. He has actually made his choice. And that was the final moment of, nah, I'm over this now. Like, this is it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm really finished with you.
And I thought that was neat. That was my favorite moment in the show, was just the yelling, the screaming, and then the door closing and it stopping. So I thought that was very neat. I really do. And you guys can find me at twitch.tv/BID_P. And on the Solar Gray YouTube channel, where we talk about games and storytelling and stuff like that. You know, so thank you for sitting with us through yet another show.
Yeah, we made it. We made it to the end of this one. I guess on my end, final thoughts. You know what? We were treated to an extremely good show that you know what? I think it'll be worth a watch like once a year, maybe once every other year. Go back, watch it, see how you feel about it. But an amazing cast, man. Like I think that amazing cast. You know, Katja, Mike Coulter, Michael Emerson. I don't think there's anything that he's in that I don't like him in. But Asif Manvi really, because see, this is the first time I've seen him not be a comedian.
Yeah, well,
so
I don't know. Avatar: The Last Airbender was kind of funny.
Oh, see, I've never seen that movie. So, oh man, but like, what's Boggs? Kurt Fuller. That's his name. So sorry, Kurt Fuller.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Boggs and Cheryl.
Yeah, and
so much
Cheryl,
much to talk about.
What is her name? Christine Lottie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But of course, Andrea Martin, who is Sister Andrea. Like the girls, man. There's no one in this cast is whack. Like no one. We were lucky to get this one, man. Even though they got on my nerves sometimes, but they got on my nerves in a way where the writing is good. Like they did things that made me mad. Like was one of the women that I hated the most in my life, President Palmer's wife. That woman, I could not stand her. But it's because 24 wrote her. The people in 24 wrote her as a horrible backstabbing. Every time you get a chance to think like maybe I'll trust this girl, and it's like no, I still can't trust this girl. So, so yeah, the cast, man, this cast is awesome. No, we didn't resolve I any thread except Leland, really, but I still enjoyed it. It was a wild ride, and I'm glad we got it. I think this is a good show. This is an awesome show. So with that said, we will be covering Rings of Power, and Strange New Worlds in some way, shape, or form. I'm still getting things together. I'm so behind in tons of stuff. There's Patreon gifts that I have to do and a whole bunch of events that are coming up. But we will be watching these shows. If you're watching with us, shouts out to y'all. And speaking of shout out, I want to give a shout out to anyone who ever commented on any of the episodes, at least this season. You know, like In Love with Horror came through. Love them. If you don't know about In Love with Horror, it's a couple, of course, they cover horror, but they're awesome. They've commented. Malcolm has commented. Of course, you've been on the show commenting. And Malcolm Lee. But there's tons of people like Joe the Third that have come through. Who was? I forgot. VB Morris
Hmm.
with The Show Is So Good. I hope someone else picks it up. That's what she said, and I was like, you know what? I can I can go with that because she said, "Can we get an NCIS or CSI kind of situation with Evil LA, Evil Vegas, Evil Miami?" I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that. But yeah, VB Morris, Malcolm Lee, you guys came through, watched the show. I know it's a wild, crazy show with crazy kids. But shouts to Geeky Andre, Eva coming through. It's just like, it's so many people that watch the show with us and know how crazy the show is and how fun it was to watch. So until the next time that you have to say goodbye to a demon that you could not shake for years, this is for us to you saying peace.